What's up, everybody? I'm Metal Nick,
I am Jeff Grindstoffer.
and welcome to episode number 19 of Vinyl Bang. Today we are going to be talking about our numbered vinyl, whether it's hand numbered, stamped, but these records are numbered.
Limited exclusives.
Yes,
Pretty cool.
Rare shit.
Rare shit.
Yeah. This is a cool one that we've been talking about for a while, and then we started looking through our collections. But yeah, I think I have enough records to do this, so let's do this.
Yeah, that's another one of the ones where I had to like whittle the list down because I had like so many, and I just like okay. How many are we doing? 15, 27?
I wish.
5-hour episode.
We could.
But we're not. I don't have it in me to do a 5-hour episode.
Someday. All right. Jeff, you want to start off?
Sure. Right. Yeah, I'll start off. I'm gonna start off with one that I don't think we've done a whole lot of 10 inches on the show. I've done like the Nirvana box that I did was a 10 inch, but I don't think I've done a whole lot of 10 inches. Have you?
I don't think I've shared any of mine yet, but ironically, we'll talk later. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So my first contribution to the episode is an EP from one of my favorite bands that came out in 2022. This is Melvin's Lord of the Flies. This came out in 2022. It was a pressing of 200. The artwork, as many of the Melvin's vinyl collectors know, this is a Haselmeyer screen print. Haselmeyer does a lot of pressings for the Melvins throughout the years. He's done it ever since last 20 years or so. He's done different pressings for different Melvins records, albums, EPs, and whatever. This particular EP consists of 4 tracks. The first track is Never Say You're Sorry, which was featured on the Bad Moon Rising album that came out later in the year. It features a cover of the Soundgarden classic Spoon Man, which features not only Dale Crover on drums, but also Matt Cameron from Soundgarden contributes to the cover of Spoon Man. And the Melvins, they put their own spin on it. It's not an exact replica of the Nirvana or the Soundgarden song. They make it their own. Same guitar riffs, same drums, same everything, but just the vocal, the chorus and the verses are kind of switched around and mangled and mashed up, and it's fun. It's a really fun listen. I'm not sure how many of these pressings they did, but this one in particular, they did 200 of a maggot gagging green press.
Pink splatter.
Yeah, orange and pink. Orange. Yeah, there's 2 different. Yeah, you can tell there's 2 different colors in there, right?
I can mostly see the pink, but hold it closer. Okay, yeah. Okay, there's two different shades of dots.
Yes, orange and pink. And half of the label is red. Does it look pink? But yeah, this is a really fun EP. This was kind of like again, this is probably just a way to release the 2 songs. I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent. The third song on this EP is called Misty Mountain Urge. Now, the Misty Mountain is a throwback to the Led Zeppelin cover, Misty Mountain Hop. And again, they make it their own. They take some of the lyrics and take some of the verses and mash them together. And, it's the same riffs and everything. But the Melvins make it their own, which is fun. And the 4th track on this is The Receiver and the Empire State, which was also featured on the full-length album Bad Moon Rising, which came out a couple months later. So it was a way to give people a preview of 2 of the songs from the upcoming album and showcase 2 different covers that Melvins they're known for doing that. Like they've done that throughout the years. Like they've covered the Beatles, I Want to Hold Your Hand. They've covered just all kinds of shit throughout the years, and they always just kind of put their own spin on it. And it's a fun listen. It's really cool to have. These are pretty pricey on Discogs now. I usually, whenever Melvins release something through Hazel Meyer's Amphetamine Reptile Shop, I usually try to be hitting refresh starting at 11.59 and make sure I get a copy of whatever it is, because once these are gone, they're gone, and then once they're gone, they are expensive as hell.
Can you share the number again?
I'm sorry. Yeah, that was the whole point of this thing. The number is 98. 98 of 200.
Okay, hell yeah.
So yeah, I forgot that was the whole point of the episode, was numbered vinyl. Good call, buddy.
No, I was thinking about, because I was like, did he see it? Did I miss it? I was like, Jeff, I'm sorry. Could you?
completely just.
No, those are cool, because you know what? Like, I was telling you that story about when I was at the last time I went to Celebrated Summer with Blake, and they had all those Melvins records up on the wall, and it kind of looked like that. And I was like, is that it? Was that the one? But you asked
Tony.
What was Tony's name? You asked Tony when you were there, and he told you what it was that I was trying to describe to you. But
yeah, they were the gluey porch treatment.
And those ones are numbered as well, I'm assuming, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. Revolver last year before, Revolver magazine did a thing where they released like different art prints for 3 or 4 of the album. I don't even remember what they were, but like I think Adam Jones from Tool did a cover for them, and Mackie, Buzz's wife, who does a lot of their artwork for stuff, did a particular cover for each album. You know, like Adam did a cover and Mackie did a cover, and it's a collaborative thing that they did. But yeah, it would have been cool to have. But I mean, for the 3 records that you were telling me about, I'm sure it was like $400 for the 3 of them. I'm good.
He didn't have it up on that big shelf, but they were on a wall. They were displayed for sure. But yeah. Cool. All right. So the first ones I'm going to be talking about here are by one of my favorites, Revocation. This album is called Existence is Futile. This was originally released in 2009 on Relapse Records. It was only on CD, and then at some point they signed with Metal Blade, and Metal Blade put it out on vinyl for the first time. I have 2 different pressings. First one I'm going to show you is the green vinyl. They're both out of 100. Can you see that there? Number 14 of 100.
Yes, 14 of 100.
Sorry. All good. And then, yeah, this is the green vinyl.
Right on.
This is a cool record. This was, the album that came out when I first was told about them by Mr. Jason Netherton. This was the album that I had heard. It's really cool. Enter the Hall, Existence Reigns, Deathonomics, Existence is Futile, The Brain Scramblers, Across the Forest and Fjords, Reanimaniac, which is a really cool one. The Anthem of Betrayed, Leviathan Awaits, The Tragedy of Modern Man, and a bonus track, Death in Vain. Yeah, pretty cool low number 14 of 100 on green vinyl. And then I also have on orange vinyl, number 37 of 100. Boom. Looks like
nice.
It's got wax shavings all over it, but yeah, I love Revocation. This was a really cool record. I remember when this came out. This was actually Trey Williams had a promo copy that Relapse had given him, and he let me borrow it. And I never wanted to give it back to him because I really like this band and I really like that CD. But glad to have it on vinyl. Relapse actually recently did press it on vinyl. They did a bunch of stuff from Revocation that was on Relapse put out. They put out. So But yeah, this was repressed in 2017, first time on vinyl through Metal Blade. I got an orange and a green one, and yeah, Revocation. They fucking rule. Shout out to Dave and Phil and Tony, who were the ones on that record. I know they got many members past and present, so like, but that album in particular, those three guys were on that, and they, you know, that was the beginning of it for them before they went on to do what they do now. They're still killing it live. Yeah.
Oh no, absolutely.
I love that band.
Yeah. Yeah, Phil, when he was drumming for him, like I did some camera work for him for Sick Drummer throughout the years, and he's a really good guy. Like I talked to him.
He's funny as shit.
Been a few years, but yeah, dude, Phil's great. Phil the Boy is a great guy.
He's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. All right, Jeff, your next one.
All right, up next is an album that I discovered during the MySpace days. This album was released originally in 2006. The band, I'm pretty sure that I was still on MySpace at the time. I think MySpace was still a thing in 2006. But anyway, this next album that I have is from a band called Cloacal Kiss, which is very legibly read right here. Cloacal Kiss, right there. The album is called Easter. It is a fun album. It is the first time I ever heard it. I'd never heard anything like it at the time, and I probably still have not heard a whole lot that keeps up with this ever since. The vocalist, I can't remember his name, has gone on to do other projects like the Sawtooth Grin and other stuff like that, but just a very, very unique voice, very unique approach to vocals itself. But this album was released by Wax Vessel in 2020. Out of 100, I have number, can you see that? 58. 58 out of 100.
Okay.
58 out of 100. This is the Easter Swirl press, which I don't know if you can kind of see the dark yellow
tilted
and the light yellow.
Okay, yeah, a little.
Yeah, it doesn't really translate well with my LED light directly shining on it, but
I can see a little swirl on the edge there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not real distinguishable. I don't know if holding it back here would make any difference or not, but I mean, there's little chunks of yellow, and you know, it's in there. It's already in there. All right, the yellow chunks and the Easter swirl, yellow and yellow. It's fun. But yeah, this was I can't remember if I've discussed this album on this show or not, but it feels like I have, because this next part I'm going to mention, it just sounds familiar, and I don't know why. Side B of this album includes their demo, which is not listed on the cover. On the back of the cover, it's just the 8 songs from the album, which are all on side A, and then side B, as I said, is their demo, which is unlisted in the credits, which is kind of cool. Pretty cool little Easter egg, if you will, because, you know, Easter egg. Huh? Yeah.
That's some cool stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if I remember heard you discussing that band on this show. Maybe you've talked about it, maybe not that album, but I don't think I've ever talked. I don't remember you talking about that particular fact. That
it's like on
an entire side listed on the back of their album, the track.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably haven't, but like on Easter Sunday, I posted a picture of the shirt and the vinyl, and James Watson chimed in and said, "Hey, I used to play drums for that band." I'm like, oh, cool! Like, you know, never knew that. You know, so maybe that was where the whole side B thing came in, and I don't know. I like to fantasize about this show whenever we're not recording, so maybe that's okay.
All right. All righty.
All right, Nick, what you got, buddy?
This is a cool one. This is an old school one. This this album, excuse me. This album originally came out in 1996. This is a 2016 Vinyl Me Please repressing of one of a very good sophomore album, Rage Against the Machine's Evil Empire. I actually looked it up, and this is out of 1500 pressed, and I have number 394.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Oh,
it is
yeah.
pressed. It is, well, it says it's orange. I guess it is.
That's very orange. Looks like
Yeah.
it's almost marbled. Is that marbled?
A little, yeah. Can you see?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's some. Yeah, this
Looks marbly.
this fucking record. This is a great photo of them. I love that.
I love that
box of
picture of them.
drumsticks right there on the ground. Yeah. Rage. This is a very cool album. I made a lot of friends because of this album. I'll say that. Over the years, I've met people. There was a girl that I met back when I was in high school. Her mom was the school nurse, and the first day I met her, she told me she was a big Rage fan, and yeah, I love this band. They're a cool band. They were great live band. I know you said you saw them on this recent run, but let's go through this track listing real fast. People of the Sun, Bulls on Parade, Viet Now, Revolver, Snake Charmer, Tire Me, Down Rodeo, which is my favorite track, Without a Face, Wind Below, Roll Right, and Year of the Boomerang. This is a pretty good record. I still think the first one was better, but I like this album a lot. I feel like at some point after Revolver, kind of like, but it's a good record. I'm not saying this sucks at all. Please come on our show, Tom Morello.
Yeah, Tom Morello, please come on our show.
Any one of you, Brad Wilk, Tim, Zach,
Tim Comerford.
talk about your records with us. That'll be awesome. I love Rage Against the Machine. I'm not going to sit here and say anything they did sucked. They were a great band, very influential for me as a kid. I loved listening to them. They grooved so fucking well.
Yeah,
and that was a great record for sure. For a good sophomore record that I could have talked about on that episode, but I chose not to.
I remember buying that on CD the day it came out.
Yeah,
I drove to Hannibal, Missouri with a few friends of mine. Jameson was with me. Terry Campbell, and I believe these guys don't even. It don't matter who was with me, but yeah, we all drove to Hannibal because Jamerson and I were excited about it just because it was Rage Against the Machine. Terry went with me because Terry and I went to high school together, and he was a big rap fan, but he was, he listened to all rap, but he wanted to hear the new Rage Against the Machine, so he went with me to buy the album because they were one of those bands that kind of like the Beastie Boys, like it just people that listen to metal listen to the Beastie Boys, or people that listen to rap listen to Rage Against the Machine. They were just one of those crossover bands that universally was accepted, by a lot of people. And yeah, bought that the day it came out on CD and haven't looked back. It's a great album. It's a great fucking album.
Amazing album, yeah.
Year of the Boomerang's a little different, with the
yeah.
But
good way to close out the album, I thought. Though.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
I thought the way that the track listing of that record was good, but like for me, I felt like the first one, it was just like it just went up and just didn't go down at all. It was like how that record was. This one, I feel like in the middle, it kind of goes like, loses me a little bit, but that was just me. I've had people get mad at me when I tell them that. I'm like, look, I'm not saying the album sucks, but
right. It doesn't have the same flow to it as the first one.
Mm-hmm. But
and I mean, I could see it.
They were all strong. They were all strong, solid tunes on that on Evil Empire.
Right. Oh yeah.
I wouldn't have bought that if I didn't. I would never bought that record if I didn't feel that way because it is a solid fucking album.
It is for sure.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
All right, my third album, and I think I did this intentionally. The third album I'm going to feature on this episode is limited to, it is numbered out of 100. This was released originally in 2012. This reissue was from 2020, It was from a Euro web shop exclusive, and there were 100 pressed of this pressing. They did 3 different pressings of this particular album at the time they did. I'll go ahead and show you what it is. Monolith of Inhumanity, and it is number 3 of 100. Third album of the episode, number 3. I forget that I have cool shit like this. Like I forgot that I had such a low number out of 100, no less, of this particular pressing until like we decided we were going to do this. And I started going through my records, like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Guess which one's going in the episode? Yeah, this one in particular. This is the Precious Metal split vinyl. The other 2 pressings that I mentioned that they did at the same time, they did 200 of a pressing called Eye of the Monolith and 300 of a pressing called Projectile Ovulation. I own all 3. The other 2 are over there in the shelf somewhere. There you can see them back, y'all. Right there, those brown ones right there. Those are all Monolith of Inhumanity. This is not opened. I am not opening this. I will not go get the other 2 and open either one of them because no thanks. But yeah, I had to feature this in the episode because 3. I mean, that's a cool thing to have. Like the skateboard that I've got from them whenever they did the Jimbo Junior skateboard a couple of years back is number 3 out of 100. So me and number 3. I am number 3 to Cattle Decapitation, and it's cool with me. It's all right. Back to you, Nick.
Just you gotta let those records breathe at some point, Jeff.
No.
That's nice. That's nice. And that's what I was thinking, man. When I was going through this my collection, and same deal. I forgot like some of the numbers that I had. I was just like, holy shit, I can't believe
Right.
But yeah, that was pretty cool stuff. That's good to know that you had that. I didn't know that you had that. Mm-hmm. It's a very low number. It's funny how sometimes we forget. We keep collecting and we forget about shit. If it wasn't for Discogs, we wouldn't be able to,
Right. No, absolutely. Discogs is a lifesaver. Absolutely.
I know for a fact I wouldn't I have to sometimes go through it and be like, oh shit, I do have this,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there's stuff that I have that I find on my shelf that I haven't uploaded on Discogs, or there's no option for it yet.
There's a couple of them that I have that aren't listed, like a couple of test presses and stuff that aren't listed in Discogs that I have that I can't keep track of. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Like whenever we're doing research for these episodes, and I go through my collection on Discogs, like, holy shit, I forgot I have this, and then I go and look, and sure enough, pretty cool little thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All
right. All right, moving on.
Just make sure you went last, right? All right. So this next one I'm going to talk about is an album by a band, one of my favorite death metal bands, and this is definitely my favorite album by them. I'm going to go ahead and say that. Originally, this came out in 1998. This repress was in 2007 of Dying Fetus, Killing on Adrenaline, and it was put out on Night of the Living Vinyl Dead Records, and this is out of 500. I have 452.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a number. I don't care about the number. I care about owning this album on vinyl because I've never had it before. It's like a red, white, and blue splatter. But cool. Yeah, one of my favorite death metal albums of all time. I did not have this in my collection until a couple years ago. Actually, it was a Discog score. But yeah, this album right here. This is let's see here. Killing on Adrenaline, Procreate the Malformed, Fornication Terrorist, We Are Your Enemy, Kill Your Mother or Rape Your Dog, Absolute Defiance, Judgment Day, Intentional Manslaughter. I love intentional manslaughter. Jason Netherton has gone on to say that they were listening to a lot of Ice Cube and NWA when they recorded this album. So like the bounce and the groove that they were going for was like hip hop influenced. It's very neat. This album features Kevin Talley on drums, and then eventually the guitarist. Hold on, what was his name? Brian Latta. He left and Sparky joined the band, and Dying Fetus, Killing on Adrenaline. Not the best sounding album in the death metal, but like in the 90s, that not too many death metal albums. This album's very bass heavy, if you've ever heard it, but this is easily my favorite Dying Fetus album. I know Trey said that too. His old band Tortured was thanked in the thank yous on this record. So came full circle years later. Trey's in the band, but great album, great fucking death metal album. I'm very stoked that I finally have this in my collection.
That's very cool. It's a cool feeling to get an album that you're after, your favorite album on vinyl. That's very cool. As far as my favorite Fetus album, I think that's up there.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't really tell you what my favorite Fetus album is now that I think about it.
There's still one more. If anybody listening to this show has a copy of Deicide Once Upon the Cross on vinyl that they want to part ways or help me find, please reach out. You know where to find me. Hit the subscribe button. We're on Instagram, Facebook, all that good shit. Just putting it out there. But that, like I said, every now and then there's an album that you want in your collection, especially when we've been doing this for like 20 some years now, and it's just like, oh, what next? What can I, and you think about these things that you don't have. Sometimes they're too expensive. Sometimes they're super rare, hard to find, but it was cool. I found it for a reasonable price too. So I was pretty stoked.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Shit. Yeah. Anyways, Jeff.
All right. So my next album, going in order here, my next album is another one that is not opened, will not be opened, not open for debate.
Boo.
At one point I had two copies of this. And I believe the other one was a higher number, and I sold it because I don't know why I had two copies of it. But my next one was released. The album was released in 2020. They did 11 pressings of this particular album, including the test press, 10 regular pressings, and all of them were on that bottom shelf. All 10 pressings are over there. My fucking geography is bad whenever I'm backwards. I can't do anything backwards. But yeah, 10 copies of this album, Mr. Bungle, The Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny demo. This was a Revolver exclusive vinyl, as shown, Revolver did a limited edition of 666 copies of this on vinyl. I own the one that I kept is number 145 on pissed yellow vinyl. Out of the 666 copies, they did 400 copies of this were sold as a bundle with the accommodating magazine from the same month, which I own. Surprise, surprise. The Revolver Mr. Bungle special edition magazine with a slip cover, no less. Kind of a cool little thing. This came out in fall of 2020. It was issue 153, and interview by Eric Andre. Mr. Bungle or Mike Patton was interviewed by Eric Andre. There's video footage of this that's circulating around. I'm sure if you go on YouTube, you can look up Eric Andre, Mike Patton interview, and you can see the footage itself. But yeah, a fun little magazine that goes with the accommodating vinyl, with the episodes talking about vinyl, not magazines. But it's got an Obi strip. And I believe that's probably why I never opened it, because I didn't want to fuck with the Obi strip. I just wanted to leave it the way it was. And like I said, I have 9 other pressings that I'm able to listen to, so, whatever. It's cool. But yeah, number 145 of 666, and it's fitting because, the whole satanic bunny. So And it's an Easter bunny. Oh, and it's like a theme thing because of the Easter Cloacal Kiss album. Easter. What month is this?
May. It's almost my birthday month.
A little off, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Bungle, they're fun. Now I saw that album performed live. Well, we talked about this in the last episode, or no? Yeah, I guess it will be now. It'll still be the last episode after we air this.
That's good shit. Yeah, I didn't know that
Bungle.
Revolver did numbered vinyl.
They do it every now and then. Dude, Revolver does this weird shit where they'll take one album and they'll do like 5 different pressings, but they'll do like one copy of each pressing. They'll do one record of each pressing. And it's weird how they do it. I've never participated in it because it's like a lottery, I think, to get one of these copies. But the bands that they've done this for, the albums that they've done them for, I'm always like, I don't care. I don't care about the band. I don't care about the album. I'm not going to put forth effort into trying to get this extremely, extremely rare.
The catch is they want you to subscribe to their magazine.
Sure. No, absolutely, and they should. That's part of their shtick is
Well, then offer something cool like a free flexi in every issue.
You're right. Yeah, that would be the better approach. But that's copyrighted by Decibel. We don't want to piss off Decibel magazine.
I'm trying to say Decibel's got a great thing going with what that's how they got me. I was subscribing because I was sick of just buying one issue every few months. I wanted to see what bands they were talking about, but at some point I ran out of space to put those magazines. Like I said something to Blake. I was like, "Do you want them?" He's like, "I got no room for that shit." And I was like, pfft. So I have a box in my closet now full of all these Decibel magazines. So I don't want to throw them away. Those I spent a lot of money. I subscribed to them for many years, but I'm glad they all came with flexis. It's good stuff. It's a good way to hook people in.
Absolutely, and a lot of the flexi discs they do are pretty cool. Like I've discovered a few bands because of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I'm the same way with the magazines. Like I got a couple of my record cabinet or my record cabinet boxes have like shelves in them that have magazines in them. It's like, dude, I can't collect any more of these. I got to stop. I don't read them.
Yeah, I just ran out of room. I have nowhere to put them. Much like my vinyl. So
yes.
All right. So this next one that I'm going to talk about is by a band. I think I've talked about them a couple times, but this is their final album they ever did, even though they're about to reunite next month. The Dillinger Escape Plan. How do you say the name of this last album? Diacetation? I don't know. There's 2 versions I got here. This first one is the merch limited edition. It came with a back patch and the slip mat, and they're numbered out of 100. I still have the slip mat. I don't know where the back patch went. I think I may have sold it to somebody, but this is 98 of 100. It's on standard black because I think they just had a bunch of standard black that they couldn't sell, and they figured, fuck it, let's let's do some screen prints and push these upon some fans. The next one is the Holiday Bundle, which was released on Cyber Monday of 2016. Also out of 100. It came with this enamel pin.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Also, like they say it's a screen printed cover. Yeah, I guess it is. Last album. How do you say it? Diacetation?
Dissociation.
Association. Yeah.
Disassociation.
Disassociation. I'm illiterate as shit. So, number 8 of 100.
Holy shit, that's cool.
The holiday edition. I like this album. This one was I think it was like blue and green for like the holidays. But I like this album a lot. I saw them live a couple times on that final run, and I was definitely at the very last show before they decided to end it. But yeah. Dillinger Escape Plan. What a fucking cool band. I know you're going to go see them again in a couple weeks here, but
yep, going to New York. Stoked.
Yeah.
Stoked.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
plenty of different pressings of that, but those are the two numbered ones that I have, and yeah,
yeah. I remember whenever they did the numbered pressings, and I wanted to get a couple of them, but I don't remember why I didn't. I've got like 3 copies of Disassociation, but I don't remember.
Were you at the first show in Baltimore? I can't remember if you came to that one or not.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so,
With
like
with
they had that was the first night they had the album there, but like a few weekdays before it was on, it hit the stores,
mhm.
and it was on clear vinyl. I remember I bought one, and like you and a couple other people asked me if I could hold the merch in the car. They gave me like a pass with my name on it, my whole name on it that night. I thought it was killer. That was the last time I talked to Greg. I haven't seen him since. I mean, I've seen him. I went to the Philly show, the last Philly show, and the last show in New York City.
Mhm.
Good
Yeah,
time.
Melanie and I drove out for that show in Baltimore. That was with Cult Leader.
Uh huh.
Cult Leader opened that,
Yep.
and some other band. I don't remember who it was, but yeah, I saw that tour 3 times, I think, in total. Like I saw it in Baltimore, and then I drove to Knoxville, Tennessee, and saw it, and one other time. But yeah, I wanted to catch them as many times as possible on their last run, and then went to the first night of the New York final shows in New York in 17. But yeah, missed that band a lot.
Definitely. Yeah.
Ready to see them again.
Cool.
All right. So next for me is going to be a project consisting of King Buzzo from the Melvins and Trevor Dunn of Mr. Bungle, Phantomas, bunch of different projects. Tomahawk, he's done different projects. This is an acoustic project, King Buzzo with Trevor Dunn. It's an album called Gift of Sacrifice. A huge fan of this project, a huge fan of this album. Everything. I love the acoustic. Trevor Dunn with a stand-up bass, and King Buzzo with an acoustic guitar. It's just very, very monochromatic music. It's very monotone. It's very ambient, very cool. It's awesome. I love this project a lot, a whole lot. This particular pressing of Gift of Sacrifice it was part of an All Souls Day bundle sold on November 2nd in 2020. They did a limited number of 23 bundles, and I have number 15 of 23. So pretty limited, very limited actually. The screen print was this is artwork done by Mackie Osborne, the wife of King Buzzo. The artwork is a lot of the same style that Mackie has done for Melvins throughout the years, and this is no different. This is an absolute awesome package artwork. I can't remember if this is. I believe this is colored. Let's find out. Oh, it is. It's colored. It's orange. It's orange for All Souls Day, I believe, is probably the theme behind this whole project. This whole aesthetic has an insert also with art by Mackie. And my name's in it. Holy shit! No, my name's not really listed in this, but that would be cool. But yeah, this is a really, really fun project from King Buzzo and Trevor Dunn. They are doing a tour. They were supposed to do a tour that was announced in early 2020, which of course didn't happen because of the pandemic. And that is finally being rescheduled for this year. And I'm going to see them twice, I believe. I'm going to see them in St. Louis and Nashville. When I've seen Trevor Dunn a few times since then, and every time I've seen him, I've asked about this. You know, like, when are you going to do the tour with King Buzzo going to happen again? He's like, I hope so. God damn, I hope so. I really want to get out and play this material, and it's finally happening, and I am excited to see them perform this live. But yeah,
Cool stuff.
cool project. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Happy
Cool.
you finally get to see it.
Yeah, I'm stoked to see it. Like I said, the first time I saw Trevor Dunn with the Melvins was whenever they did the Melvins Light tour in 2013, I believe they did the 50 shows in 50 states in 50 days thing where they played one show in every state consecutively 50 days, and they got in the Guinness Book of World Records and all this shit. But yeah, watching Trevor with a stand-up bass is awesome shit to watch. So very excited for that.
Cool. I'm excited for you.
Thanks. Next.
All right. I'm going to talk about a band that I talked about a few episodes ago, and I don't know if basically in 2014, Nuclear Blast somehow, I guess, they got their hands on the archives of all the old Slayer albums, everything that American Records had put out. So they decided to repress everything from Rain and Blood till whatever the last album was at that point. But they did everything on clear vinyl out of 666. And I pre-ordered Rain and Blood, Decade of Aggression, and Seasons of the Abyss. But I'm going to show you my Decade of Aggression because this is at 39 out of 666. Not bad for the live album.
No, absolutely.
Clear vinyl. Yeah, I couldn't believe it when they all came in. Most of them, like I was surprised Rain and Blood wasn't sold out. Only one I wish I had that was numbered that I don't have is South of Heaven. But I like this live album. It's a pretty cool one. It's I guess they're during the Seasons in the Abyss tour, but it's a fucking killer track list. Is it on the back here? Yeah, side one, Hell Awaits, The Antichrist, War Ensemble, South of Heaven, Rain and Blood, Altar of Sacrifice, Jesus Saves, Dead Skin Mass, Seasons in the Abyss, Mandatory Suicide, Angel of Death, Hollow Point, Blood Red, Die by the Sword, Black Magic, Captor of Sin, Born of Fire, Postmortem, Spirit in Black, Expendable Youth, and Chemical Warfare. I guess this is around the time where Slayer was like starting to play like larger arenas due to this picture, but yeah, good live album, great live album. Slayer, they fucking rule. Pretty low number to get. I was happy about that.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the first Slayer CDs I ever owned was that Decade of Aggression.
Cool.
On CD. It's a great live album. It's absolutely one of my favorite live albums ever.
I like the part where Tom Araya says, if you see somebody fall down, help them out, all right? That's what we're here to do, help each other out. Like that little part in the beginning there was cool as shit. I thought, at least they're looking out for their fans because they know their fans are crazy as shit. I wonder how many, in the years of Slayer shows, how many bones have been broken at a Slayer show total.
Oh, who knows? Oh, dude,
the stat must be insane.
Yeah, I'm sure. Surprised people didn't have to like sign waivers and shit. Like Slayer does not cover insurance. We're not paying for your fucking broken bones. I saw somebody get their leg broken at a Pig Destroyer show once. It was pretty nuts.
Shit happens.
Nope. Pretty crazy. Be careful out there, kids. If you're mosh pitting, be careful.
Yeah. Moving on.
All right. Moving on. The next album that I am going to feature, the next to last album I'm going to feature, is an album from Birdflesh. Love Birdflesh. These guys are a great grind band. They're fun. They're a great live band. Yeah, this is their second or third full-length album. They've done a lot of splits and 7-inches throughout the years, EPs and stuff. But this is one of their first handful albums. There was 900 of this press. The thing about this, when I looked up this particular pressing, the album wasn't released until 2007, but the vinyl came out in 2006. I don't know how that works. I don't know what the logistics is behind this, but the CD and everything, the album wasn't officially released until 2007, but this pressing came out in 2006. So surprise bird flesh for fans that, the album hadn't even come out yet. 900 pressings, and I own number 677. I forgot that this one was even numbered, actually, whenever I was going through the Discogs to find out which albums I had that were numbered. And I was very, very pleased to know that I could feature a Bird Flesh album because love this band. Great group of guys. I've filmed them several times throughout the years. Got to hang out with them a few times, and they're just fun. Like anytime I ever get a chance to see Bird Flesh, I absolutely do because great band.
Fuck yeah. I got a good first time I saw them live, I got a good photo with them afterwards. And yeah, I've seen them live a bunch of times. I believe you and I filmed them years ago to Death Fest and it never got posted.
I said, dude, I don't remember what happened to it. I don't remember where the footage went. I think I was during the downfall of me editing footage. It was after the pandemic, right? Was it after the pandemic?
Might have been before. I don't know.
I don't remember. Anyway,
does that album have "Victim of the Cat"?
This album, yes. This album does. This album is so good, dude. There are 26 songs. First off, 26 songs. The number 11, "Victim of the Cat." Meow meow meow.
It's got that Family Guy intro.
Yeah, kitty, kitty, kitty.
I've seen them play that live a few times because they do that. They'll do the meow 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 part at the end. It's they're great. They're a very fun live band. Usually when you get them, you also get General Surgery, so it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They're a cool fucking band. The drummer I've talked to 1,000 times. He's really nice. He's I guess at the last Death Fest, I got a bunch of photos with him and everybody backstage. We were definitely partying there to the very end. It was a great weekend just because it was been so long since we've seen each other at Death Fest. So,
right.
Yeah, Bird Flesh, amazing band. I love them. Fun live band.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Moving on.
All right. So I am going to talk about a 10-inch record of mine. And I think I did talk about a 10-inch in the Clear episode, but I could be wrong. This is by an Australian band called Agents of Abhorrence. Abhorrence? I don't know how you say it. The name of the album is Earth, Water, Sun. Earth, Water, Sun. Let me see here. Get my notes out. This album came out in 2007 on Numerical Thief and 625 Thrashcore. In 2017, Analog Freaks repressed it. Analog Freaks Records repressed it out of 300. Number 104 is the copy I got. And man, this is one cool looking record. It's kind of supposed to look like it's got a rose there, and can you see it?
Oh yeah, that's very cool looking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is a very cool album. This is a very cool grindcore power violence album. If you've never heard of this band, they did a split. I think I talked about them a couple episodes, the 7-inch episode. They did a split with Extortion, the tattoo that I have. Oh boy, this is fun getting this back in here. Yeah. Agents of Abhorrence. Earth, Water, Sun is the name of the record. Well, I'm having a fun time sticking this back in. I'm going to move back here. So here we go. There's little cards jamming my thing up here. But, okay. Yeah. Cool band. Cool grind album. If you've never heard it, I strongly recommend it.
I've never heard that album. I've heard a lot of their stuff throughout the years, like through splits with other bands or whatever. But I've never heard. I didn't even know that album existed. Actually,
I feel like if there's an album of theirs to check out, it would be this one.
Huh?
Absolutely. Like this is their. I don't know. Their Master of Puppets. Their Rain and Blood.
Fair enough.
Their Kings for a Day. Or Angel Dust.
Angel Dust. Speaking of, when it's my turn, we'll get to answer that.
Oh, are you ready?
I'm ready. I am ready.
What a way to segue. I really didn't expect this.
What a way to introduce my last contribution to the episode. Faith No More, Angel Dust. That's fun. The greatest album ever written. Ever written by the greatest band ever, Faith No More, because their vocalist is Mike Patton. And I love him. Love this album. Greatest album ever written. Faith No More, Angel Dust. This particular pressing was okay. The album itself was released in 1992. I was 11 years old at the time whenever I was first subjected to this album, and I remember getting this. I don't think I got it on the day it came out. It was pretty early, around the time it came out, but not the day or anything. I was with my mother. We went to Hannibal, Missouri for something silly that she wanted. And I said, I would like to have this album on cassette. And I remember listening to this album in the backseat of the car and having to turn the volume down because certain things were inappropriate for my mother to hear. But yeah, I love this album. Have ever since I was 11 years old. Greatest album ever written. This particular pressing is a 2008 reissue. It was these are half-speed masters from the Mobile Fidelity Sound Labs original master recordings. During the just to kind of make a correction from an earlier episode, the very first episode of Vinyl Bang that Nick and I did, we discussed our favorite pressings. This is it. This is my absolute favorite record that I own. This thing, I would like to be buried with this, actually. I would like to spend every waking moment with this record and take it out to dinner and show it off to people in public. But, no, I just leave it at home and listen to it every now and then. This particular pressing there were 300 pressed, and I own a number that you cannot see. There's the banner. There was 2,694 out of 3,000. It's a pretty high number. I don't care. Don't care a lick. I love this record. I love this album. I love this band. I love everything about them. Oh, I'll kiss them. Mwah. Love this band. And what a great way to introduce it. Thank you for saying Faith No More, Angel Dust, Nick, because it made it introductory so much easier. But yeah, as far as going back to the premiere episode of Vinyl Bang, as great of a copy of that silk screen pressing of Cattle Decapitation Homivore is, it's not Faith No More, Angel Dust. I own 3 or 4 copies of this on vinyl, and this is absolutely my most prized possession. I don't listen to this as often as the other ones because I don't want to hurt it. I don't want to, wear out the grooves or whatever. I do listen to the other pressings more, but whenever this one gets spun, oh, it is a treat.
Yeah, I bet.
Everybody in the house enjoys it because, I really don't want to kick my wife out. I don't want to make her go stay at the Motel 6 because she doesn't like Faith No More, Angel Dust. But yeah. Love the artwork, love the band, love the album, everything. Glad I finally got to make that correction.
I'm glad you have a numbered vinyl of your all-time favorite album. That's cool.
Me too. I would like to get at some point an earlier pressing, and I don't think, and I'm not going to look it up, dude. It'll take me forever. They've got like 3,000 copies of this album on vinyl. But to find an earlier pressing from '92 on vinyl, one of these days I will own it. But yeah, still a cool copy to have.
Cool. Hell yeah. All right. My last one is by a band that I've mentioned maybe as much as Jeff mentions Cattle Decapitation on this show. I don't know. This is Weekend Nachos High Pressure. It is a 5-inch lath cut out of 60. I have number 9 of 60. You see the Japanese obi strip. This was for a Japanese tour that they did. A friend of mine, before they went to Japan, they played a gig in LA, and I had a friend who lived out there, and I gave him money for a ticket and to buy this for me. He sent it to me in the mail, number 9 of 60. I couldn't believe it. It's a song called High Pressure, originally by a band called Jelly Roll Rockheads. I'm going to try to carefully pull this out so you can see without, because I've taken the strip out. It's just a.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Nicely, neatly tuck that back in there. Yeah, one of the very rare things that this band has put out that I own. You know what this band means to me. They're the world when it comes
Sure.
to collecting vinyl. I'm about to see them in a couple weeks here in Baltimore, and I'm going to press these dudes for some more stuff. There's some test presses I don't own. I'd like to figure out how I can get my hands on it, but these guys are really cool dudes, and I'm stoked that they're back because it means the world to me. So there's not every band that I like is still a band, and it's cool and stuff like that when bands like that get back together, and
Sure,
it's fun shit. So
absolutely. Whenever I first heard the news, I was like texting and tagging you and like, Nick, you see this? Like, Weekend Nachos are coming back, and I'm stoked for you.
hopefully there's some vinyl in the future. I know there's a T-shirt that I gotta pick up when I get to Death Fest, but they did another Michael Jordan one. I have one from the last show. It's got the crying Jordan on the front, and on the back it says "We broke up." And then this one's from there's that very famous scene of him watching some video on a tablet, and he's like laughing, and it says "We got back together."
That's awesome.
Those guys are funny dudes. Jeff, do you have any new records you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, I got a couple. I got a new record and a new thing.
Cool.
That I would like to discuss. I don't know what this thing is. I've been instructed not to open it, but again, we'll get into that in a minute. So my record that I received the other day is a repress of an EP from a band that came out in 90 something, 94, 95, I don't know. Veruca Salt. That's the second album or the second vinyl I own from Veruca Salt in the last couple of weeks, and I am damn excited to own a copy of Blow It Out Your Ass. It's Veruca Salt. This is a 4-song EP that came out in 98. Here, look at this. It's got the original in 96. That's 6 or good God, I can't tell. 96. This album, this EP came out in 96. Repressed this year by El Camino Records. Never heard of El Camino Records before. The band made a post the other day that they were reissuing this on vinyl, and I broke my phone screen ordering it. So excited! This features the hit that my daughters and I enjoyed a lot throughout the year growing up. Shimmer Like a Girl. Huge song. It has a lot of memories for me. This EP has a lot of memories for me.
Shimmer Like a Girl. Isn't that a Taylor Swift song?
This EP has a lot of memories for me involved with my girls growing up throughout the years. I'm Taking Europe With Me, New York Mining Disaster 1996, and Disinherit, recorded by Steve Albini.
Oh, cool.
Steve Albini. Yeah,
yeah.
Pretty big one. Now, one thing about this was limited, or this is on a limited edition color vinyl. The entire theme of the thing is toilet paper. Is toilet paper colored toilet paper thing, and I'm going to open it because it's eventually going to get opened anyway. I just have not taken the initiative to open this and listen to it just yet. I wanted to save the opening of this record for all of the Vinyl Bang fans that watch our episodes. This is a Charmin colored, very stuck in here pressing. Here, let's see if I can't do this an easier way. Good God, the static on this thing.
Yeah, that sucks.
Ridiculous. Charmin colored white vinyl.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, so that's not going back in there. I'm going to put these in one of those original master recording sleeves. But yeah, it's got the printed insert from the CD that I owned back in 96. Very cool pressing. Very, very cool pressing. I'm very excited to finally have this on vinyl. My second thing that I am going to feature is from a band, ironically, and I'm going to go ahead and date the episode. Today is May 5th of 2024. This is a CD from a band called 5-5-2000, which is a noise project from Travis Ryan, and I'm scrambling to find the other guy's name. Can't think of the other guy's name, and I don't have enough time to look it up. Didn't do it correctly. But ironically, this album or this pressing is number 3 of 55.
You and number 3.
Right?
What is it with you and number 3, Jeff?
Number three. Usually there's number 1 for P, number 2 for Poop, and number 3 for Jeff Christopher.
Bono would be very jealous.
Bono. And I have a story for that too.
He can't be number 2. He's always number 1.
I know. Randy and Randy's. Hot. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, going off on a South Park tangent about baby Bono and his binky. Or Biddy. Bono on Biddy. Anyway, this is a thing that was handmade by Travis Ryan. This is the 5-5-2000 album, Reflection Musique. There's a mirror on the back to symbolize the Reflection Musique. And I was told by Travis not to open this because it's sealed in paper mache. What it is it's a copy of the CD, paper mache, sealed, like shrink wrap, vacuum sealed. But I convinced him to I got a copy from Travis, and it's number 3 of 55. But it was just like it had to be featured, had to be done. Today is May 5th. Had to feature the new 5-5-2000 collectible CD.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't
from
you?
them? So
Definitely.
So very cool thing that's going to sit on my shelf and collect dust, along with all of the other cattle decapitation stuff that I and stuff right there. There's like 2 shelves of cattle decapitation stuff, and that is where this is going to sit. And yeah, so very cool thing to have. So
hell yeah, man. That is some cool
what
stuff.
about you? You got any? I'm sorry?
That's some cool stuff.
You got anything new?
Package stuff. Yeah, I do. I got a couple things here. First off, some records I pre-ordered months ago from a record label called Take This to the Heart and Parting Gifts Records. They repressed the first 2 Every Time I Die albums. This one's Last Night in Town, and it is out of 1,000 on, I don't know what the hell they called these things, but kind of has
Cool.
his little riffs in there.
Oh yeah, I see that with the like the little white circles. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's called like Orange Ghostly Clear Orange or something uncreative like that. I love this album. It was originally released in 2001 on Ferret Music. There was a red CD and a green CD. I remember that. I had the red one. The green one was a little hard to find. But yeah, there's this, and then they also released their second full-length Hot Damn. Also, this one came out in 2003 on Ferret Music. This is a 4th pressing of it from same thing, Take It to the Heart and Parting Gifts Records. This one's a little cooler looking, actually.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I remember listening. I saw Every Time I Die with Unearth in Woodbridge, Virginia, many years ago. Evergreen Terrace was there, and Every Time I Die was very late to that show because they just finished recording this album, and it came out like a few months later. And yeah, this album blew. I think this album put them over the top. This really blew them up. They did a lot of touring and put out a lot of albums after that. They broke up a couple years ago. I know One of them has got a couple of them are in Better Lovers.
Better Lovers.
But, yeah, those are two records that I've gotten recently. I wanted to feature this CD because it was put out by a record label that pretty much is the reason this show exists. Mold Dominion. J.R. Hayes has got a record label. He's put out a couple CDs on this label. I know he did like the new Bandit album. This is my good buddy's band, Abominog. This is an album that they put out back in 1995. They self-released this album. It's called Chaos Unleashed. I went and looked it up on Discogs. There's a copy for $149 from Malaysia. The guy said he bought it directly from the band. I asked Chris about that before, and he said he remembers selling it, but like that was like back in the 90s when he sold this to some kid. But yeah, JR, his label repressed it. Very happy to have a physical copy of this finally, because this is the only thing that they've done that I don't own. I think there might be a demo cassette tape, but I do have a 7-inch vinyl by them. But Abominog is a great band. They're local from Falls Church or Arlington, Virginia, wherever you want to consider their little area. Chris Ustel is a good buddy of mine. I love that dude to death. He's reunited with Pete, the bassist, and they've been playing a lot of shows lately. Like I said, this is one of the last things of theirs that I don't own that I'm finally happy to have. Mold Dominion put it out. They said they forgot to put their label on the CD, so they gave him some stickers, and you can see how small that sticker is. This is like some Spinal Tap shit right there, but it just describes this is a death metal band from Virginia from back in the day. It's very brutal. But again, JR put this out. I wanted to mention this on our show because this is a JR made show. And these are good friends of mine, really good friends of mine. Chris is a great buddy of mine. I'm very happy that he finally was able to put this out. He's trying to get some of their other stuff put on vinyl soon. And I think King Fally from Deceased is going to help him with that, because King is a good friend of his as well. But yeah, I just wanted to feature this CD on our show because, like I said, Mold Dominion is the reason Jeff and I are doing these podcasts. And anything that JR puts out, I like to promote, especially when they're good friends of mine. So Abominog is the name of the band. They are on Facebook. There's I do their Instagram. It's abominog.dm, like as in death metal. So check them out. Yes, the name is after the I think I can't remember the band. There's a band that has an album called, maybe it's Uriah Heep. They have an album called Abominog, but that's where they got their name from. So cool. Death metal from the 90s.
Oh yeah, old school shit.
Yeah, old school shit. They're like OG death metal dudes. There's some old photos of them with the Suffocation guys. I mean, they've been friends with those dudes from the very beginning too. Chris he's friends with everybody. He's got some amazing stories to tell, like that I can't really share on the air, but we'll definitely talk about some of these in a second here. But some fight stories from back in the day of some famous people that are in the scene. I don't want to embarrass on our show, but yeah, that's it for this episode. You got anything else to add, Jeff?
No.
Thank you for everybody for listening. We enjoy you guys. We appreciate you guys sticking with us each week. This was a fun episode, and I can't wait to do another one with you, buddy.
Yeah, I can't wait to do another one either. Let's try to think of something clever, but yeah, this was fun.
We've got some more fun ones coming up in the future, and I'm excited to do more.
Absolutely. I guess I will go ahead and say, if anybody out there wants to do an episode, or if you know somebody that wants to do an episode, hit us up. Let's get some guests going on this show. Let's get some more special guests going, because that would be
definitely.
I enjoy having the occasional third wheel.
We did a fun one the other night, and those were some very fun topics that we picked, and I can't wait for that episode to premiere.
Absolutely.
I've been wanting to do for a while.
Yeah. And there were several topics that he picked, and I was like, this is going to go on another episode. We're going to do more of these. Like, they're like, damn, these are good topics. Like, dude, it was fun. It was fun. But yeah. Thank you all for watching. Tell your friends, and
hit that subscribe button.
Hit that subscribe button.
That's where
there's a banner at the bottom now, so you can see the banner.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Have a good one.
Yep. All right. See you guys.